Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday Recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a bit about my last week in games, and as always we'll start with EVE Online. I must say at the start of the week I had a pretty decent amount of EVE Online gameplay. I went back to the Ishtar for exploration because of the new event. Of course, those new data sites are actually doable. It's slow in the Ishtar, but it's actually doable. I do have a micro drive on there, and so I had this all-in-one package that also allowed me to try and make a little bit of progress in the event. Now that didn't go so well, but in exchange I found a lot of good combat sites, including several 4 out of 10. It's got a couple of decent drops in all of that as well, so it was pretty damn good to feel like, alright, I actually have some time exploring. I spend that time exploring and I'm actually finding good stuff to do. So overall very fun in the day-to-day gameplay. That was definitely like the first part of the week, focusing a little bit, of course, on the daily challenges as well, where you just have to fire off fireworks at a player, which means I do have to do like a couple of jumps before I can find someone in a transport ship heading for a mar that's slow enough for me to shoot them with a firework. But it's free SP, so I definitely do that as well after right after my daily PI. So that's still going pretty well. If you follow EVE Talk, you know that PI prices are actually somewhat recovering for, well, the more basic stuff. Even coolants has stopped its descent, and a lot of the other refined PI materials that are like on the level of coolants go for like 8, 9 and even 10,000 plus ISK. So it's pretty good time to be producing. I'm still in the halfway because I focus on coolants and on mechanical parts and things like that. So I'm like selling a little bit, but also keeping some stocks. It's not like we've got exceptional prices at this point, but it's a pretty decent time for me personally doing PI. It feels like we're getting quite a bit of reward for that at the moment. On the BPC front, something that I look at as well, I still have a couple of days to go before I make the next batch, and I'm not sure if we're still going to do more dreadnoughts, because we do have a lot of competition coming in all of a sudden. So perhaps the Siege Green deployment will give us a little bit more opportunity to sell at good margins, but I do see that there's a lot of competition coming in that's bringing the prices down. Some of those BPCs that went exceptionally well, like the Kaldari Dreadnought Phoenix, I believe it's called. I went for like 20 million, crazy prices on that one, but I also had a couple of contracts lapse because, well, competition comes in, undercuts me, and then 2 weeks later they are of course not sold. Unfortunate, but that's a part of the market. Of course, it is a free market and competition is there to drive prices down, and that's exactly what has been happening. So we'll see what I focus on next. Might do structures. Siege Green could cause more destruction, but someone also mentioned it in the comments in EVE Talk. It might also mean that even more players just basically give up on structures, and that might even lower production a lot more, which would reduce bloat, right? There would be even fewer structures out there, which might give CCP an opportunity to come out with something else, but unfortunately no concrete plans or anything like that at this point. So for now, EVE Online, I'm still basically in maintenance mode. I'm also still moving stuff from Hakshma mostly to Amar. I'm down to my last 4 batches of components that are pretty bulky, and I would just have some pyrite and some titanium. Might try to sell that locally as well when I end things off there, but yeah, it is still slowly progressing almost on a daily basis. I'm doing a couple of trips back and forth, and it's just, you know, consolidating everything into trade hubs, getting ready for hopefully those updates and maybe some cool stuff coming from the story that CCP is telling in the background. So far, haven't picked up on anything, but if I understand it correctly, it's sort of like, you know, new content that they are planning to bring, but expect the full discovery phase and the full explanation and testing and all of that stuff to come like late in the year. So that does give us a little bit more time to just play EVE Online casually. And so with some casual EVE Online, that also gave me some time to do some other stuff, which for the first part of the week was still some more Vampire Survivors. Pretty easily at this point, knocking out more and more of these challenges, unlocked another character, immediately played that one, got it to level 100, and I think got another map done or something like that. There are some challenge maps there that I haven't done yet at this point, but yeah, I have earned quite a bit of gold, which means that you can get quite a few upgrades that are pretty powerful, give you more options to find the right stuff, the right combinations, and thus you're able to more easily progress to the 30 minutes, progress to the level 100 in a far more consistent way. I think I have to do like 2 more characters or something like that, and then some unlocks for stuff that honestly I haven't really seen before, so not really sure how to do all of the unlocks at this point, but I think it's like less than 10 total remaining, so I feel pretty good. And yeah, it's a fun little game, like €3 is what I bought it for, and I've gotten way more. I don't know the exact count, but way more than 3 hours out of that. So that's really a no-brainer if you're looking for one of those little games that you can play on and off. I mean, as I said, it takes like maybe half an hour to do a session at this point, and that's super easy to manage. And then yeah, it's actually quite addicting. It's got a nice progression curve from that gold that you earn that makes you stronger. It'll make it easier to get through a full game, and it just keeps snowballing. You get other unlocks, cool stuff to do, like the guns. I now am able to quite reliably upgrade that. It's like one of the most powerful weapons, super strong combination, and it's just a very fun little game. It's not the relaxed type of gameplay, but because you can do it in short sessions, it does, in my opinion, fill a nice niche, and has earned its spot twice over, many times over I should actually say, in my Steam library as something that's probably just gonna stay there and I'll pick up from time to time when I'm not sure what to do. But then from the end of the week, I do know what to do, because Path of Exile has come out with the next league, which is the Sentinel League. Very smooth launch. I actually stayed up. It's like 10 PM when the league launch starts, but I got place 2700 in queue or something like that. Then I did a little bit of eating, and I was just ready when the league launch started. Super smooth. Went in with a necromancer is what I'm building at the moment, so and then focusing on minions. Pretty tough at first. I also got like one of those early deaths to some of those rares that can have like crazy combinations, and they were of course super powerful, but on that first evening I played for like 3 hours straight. Got I think my first ascension done, which is really not great, but for me that's actually a pretty good chunk of stuff done. And then for the rest of the weekend I'm actually trying to pace myself, so I'm doing Path of Exile sessions at the moment of like around an hour, and then I also always take a little bit of a break and do some other stuff, so that I don't burn myself out or anything like that. It's a little bit slower of course, but it's definitely pretty fun. It is Path of Exile, and I look forward to basically getting into maps to take a look at that new Atlas tree, where you can also get rid of some of those league mechanics and then increase the chances for the other mechanics to spawn. That actually sounds really interesting and something that I would love to do, because for instance, I really don't like those slow ones like Harvest and some of the other ones. And so while it is the most powerful option as far as I understand, because you can do some crazy crafts there, I want stuff that's just gameplay focused, and I don't mind the RNG in the reward. So for me, Ritual, for instance, is an awesome one that I would love to see more of. So that's going to be something that I'm going to work on first with the Necromancer. Then I've got another character planned for Path of Exile for the league as well. And everything is working super smoothly from the technical standpoint. I haven't crashed a single time in my first 2.5 days, you could say, of playing this league. But I will be honest, the league mechanic, I'm not enjoying it at all. I keep forgetting to press the F2 to F4 buttons. The second one that I got was the one that focuses on rares, and I've like wasted it quite often as well, because I pressed a button you know, sometimes there's a rare on the screen, but it just dies so fast that the Sentinel didn't get a chance to actually do the upgrade, and then I just wasted it, and it does feel very clunky just in the way you use it. If it was like only the first type of Sentinel, the red one, that like, alright, I stay there for 30 seconds, I upgrade like 20-30 mobs, and there you go. I think I'm okay with that, but the others are like really niche and take quite a bit of doing in order to really utilize them. Maybe it'll be better in maps, but so far I don't really enjoy the gameplay aspect of the League, and then the management itself is also like pretty annoying. All these Sentinels are bulky 2x2s. There is room, there is a separate stash, but you can't always like replace the Sentinel while you're in a map and things like that. It just feels really clunky, and like you actually have to do quite a bit of management. At least the progress tree for the unlocks is something that you can plan ahead, so I just click on stuff and then we head there as we upgrade in levels, but the rest of it, yeah, I'm really not a fan of this League so far. It also feels very RNG as to what kind of rewards that you'll be getting. I mean, I'm not unhappy, it feels pretty rewarding because I got quite a bit of currency. You know, quite a bit of chaos has dropped already for being, you know, still in the act, but overall, yeah, definitely not my favorite, and I think I'm just going to focus on you know, trying to get to maps, trying to build my characters, and trying to explore that new atlas, and try to find a cool way that I might be able to just basically sustain my mapping a little bit more than what I usually do playing Path of Exile. It's still a fun experience, but it is definitely not my type of League this time. Anyways, that's it for this week, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you next time.